fourth edition of the Ignite Your Video Lifestyle Success Series. And today's very bittersweet, but at the same time, I'm really, really excited for the guest that we have on for today. Now, before I bring her up, a couple of things. Number one is if you're wondering, okay, this is the very first time seeing me, or you're like, what is this Ignite Your Video Lifestyle Success Series? For one, I am your host, Monique Johnson. So hello. And also my whole intention of this Ignite Your Video Lifestyle Success Series is that I am very intentional and strategic as to who I bring on to this success series. I call them business veterans, so people who've been in business for many, many years, let alone, let's just say, at least over 3 years in business. And so I bring on these individuals because, for one, they've been in business for a while, but number two is that they use the amazing medium of video. And as you all know, if you're just learning about me for the very first time, I'm very obsessed with the power of video, especially in the digital age and space that we live in right now. And so the guest that I have on for today, guys, I just love her. She is like the big sister I never had. And, you know, I know like Alicia, her name is Alicia Lyttle. She and her sister, they're like this duo. We call them the Little Sisters. They've been in business for many, many years online. And I had the amazing opportunity to meet both of them. I don't even know if Alicia remembers this. It was at Matt Basak's mastermind, and it was through a mutual friend of ours, the amazing Justin Burns. And I remember meeting them there, and, you know, we kind of connected and whatnot. But then as we kept running into each other at other live events, we became close. And she's literally someone that I definitely admire, look up to, and all of those amazing things. Now, I know I'm rambling here, but without further ado, let's bring on Alicia Lyttle. Welcome, Alicia.
Hi, Monique. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I mean, with the Monique Johnson, like the Monique, who is the video queen. I'm just excited to be here.
Oh my goodness. Yes, yes, yes. And thank you for being here, because Alicia is a busy woman, okay? She got a lot of businesses going on, and which we'll, you know, talk about that in just a moment. But Alicia, for those who do not know who the heck you are, please let people know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, you're like, who the heck you are? Hi, everybody. I'm Alicia Lyttle. I'm an internet marketer. I've been doing this for the past 20 years. Monique was like a long, 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 long time. I have a digital marketing agency on the island of Jamaica called Pow Social. Also, a company there called Internet Income Jamaica, where we train people how to work online. And my sister and I have a company in the U.S. called Monetize Marketing. But all, I create and sell products and services on the internet. And I'm here today because I use live to do that as well.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for sharing. And guys, yes, please follow her and her sister Lorette online. They're all over the interwebs, so you cannot miss them, like seriously. So, Alicia, based on your experience of being in business for 20 years, why should a business utilize the medium of video for today?
Yeah. So, well, Facebook, whether you're doing Facebook Live or Instagram or YouTube, all of those channels love live. And video is so important because it helps to not only get across a message a lot easier, but it's the most engaging way to get content across. So, I've watched your lives. I've listened to them while I've been exercising, Monique. I don't know if you know that, but like I'm on and I'm like, and I'm like walking and exercising. But, and especially in the times that we're in right now, live is the medium for my business, a lot of the things that I do for my clients as well. And it also helps to really build relationships. Even when I'm doing webinars these days, I turn on the camera so that I can build a relationship with all of the people that are on the webinar and watching. So for all the training I'm doing now, I'm making sure that I do it on video. Turn on that video camera because it's so important to build relationships. In a quick, like 30-minute training session, if someone sees me on video, they feel like they know me so much more than if the video camera is off and they're just seeing my screen. So, and that's one of the things that you taught me. I don't know if you remember this, but when we were in Nashville, you were like, girl, always turn on that camera. It's good for relationship building. And it really is. It really is great for relationship building.
Awesome. Thank you. Yes, I did not know that. So thank you for sharing that. But yes, I totally agree. And especially in the time that we're living in right now. So, Alicia is stuck in Florida because, as she mentioned, she has businesses in Jamaica, and right now the country is shut down. But because of the times that we live in, and majority of her businesses are digital, she does not allow that to stop her from using video. And with that said, I kind of want to dig deeper now as to, and which you kind of just alluded to, like how you currently use video in your business. But
Sure.
for one that I can remember is one of your businesses or agencies, if you will, is that you provide or help provide or train VAs in Jamaica. And
Right.
you at one point, I remember, like, you would go live almost religiously sharing the stories or success stories, if you will, of working with specific people on a specific Facebook group or page. I can't remember. But can
Yeah.
you break that down, and just also other ways that you utilize video right now for your business?
Sure, sure. So every Tuesday and Thursday on my page, in my group, and on YouTube, I go live. And my strategy for a live is to bring on a success story. So every time I'm going on live, I'm bringing on someone with me who's taken my course and has success. And it doesn't even matter the level of success. They've just made their first sale or they are making thousands and thousands of dollars a month. I bring them on to tell their story because through them telling their story, it helps to always sell more of my courses and products.
Sure.
So it's every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 o'clock. And I post it on social media. I'm going live. I send an email out to buyers and non buyers in my database. We run ads for it. And the amount of people that come on the live and then comment just really help to drive more and more traffic. We can always see a spike in traffic on our
Yeah.
website and a spike in sales during those times. And so it becomes the strategy is to for me not to say how awesome my products and courses are, but for someone else to say how awesome they are. And without ever, setting the stage for my students, they always end up saying, "Oh my God, guys, if you want the the best course out there, you better sign up for Alicia's stuff." So it always happens organically and naturally. People ask questions. I take that question and ask it to my student who answers it, and it always comes back to, I took Alicia's course and this happened. So it's one of the best tools for selling. Now, the students that I invite on usually have never been invited to be interviewed before. So
Okay.
they're so excited to be interviewed. So I think a lot of times we don't look and see who we can interview and bring on our live that will help us to boost our brand that we've helped. And it can be the smallest amount of success. They made $5 with something I did, or they made 5,000 or 50,000, which I've done all. I brought on someone who made her first $5, someone who made 5,000, and someone who made 80,000, right? And we did that all in 1 week. And so, it really helps me to build my brand by bringing on students. So that's one of the ways that I use live. And now I'm using tools. I'm using like StreamYard to go live on two pages,
Yep.
a group, and on YouTube. And then inside of that console, I can see all of the comments. So I see comments are coming in from the groups and YouTube, and I can answer all of those comments. So recently we just had a really big launch and it ended yesterday. So as it ended, Lorette and I sent out an email. If you have any questions, come on live and we're going to be there. So we had a few hundred people on live asking their questions and interacting. And, we're even extending the deadline to Friday now at midnight. So tonight at midnight. So they're coming on, they're seeing, they're asking questions. And we always get, I feel like I know you now. Like, so that is so important in doing it. I'm also as media reaches out to me, I've been on with, I mean, it's great for the times that we're in right now. It's given us a great opportunity. Like, media is looking for stories.
Yes.
So if you're willing to get on the camera live and you've got a story, contact your local media. There's two major TV stations in Jamaica. I've been on both of them, right? I've been on radio and that kind of stuff. So live now just gives us a really big opportunity to get our brand and our story and build our business through that camera.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that. Oh my goodness, guys, if you're watching this, she just gave you some like step-by-step blueprint that you can just literally go as soon as this interview is done and start executing for yourself. And the one thing I kind of want to talk about or just kind of dig in deeper is, so I've attended, Alicia's live streams as well. What I loved about the one where she is bringing on a student for the very first time, it makes total sense based on what you just said, because they are so excited, guys. Like, the energy is coming in, they're screaming, they're shouting. I also love the fact that Alicia doesn't allow technical difficulty to stop her either. There'll be times where she's like, can they hear us? And she's talking to her business partner to help it, all that other stuff. And that's the thing that I want to get across to those who are watching this, like, especially with live video, it doesn't have to be perfect. And in fact, people kind of expect it not to be perfect. Otherwise, they're kind of like, huh, is this
really
for real,
live?
for real? Yeah. And so I love how, like, Alicia, well, sometimes she's unfortunately had some technical difficulties and she's talking to one of her business partners or somebody on her team, and she's like, okay, we got to fix this. But she keeps it going. She doesn't allow that to stop her. And then you are so right. The whole idea of other people talking about your business is way more powerful than you talking about your business. And so that's why I love that you shared that strategy and why I asked you about it in the first place. Now, StreamYard is an amazing tool, guys, especially if it's something that, live video isn't something that you're necessarily comfortable with. I feel like StreamYard is the easy way to get started with it, not having to figure out all kinds of bells and whistles. And also, guys, like, you can actually record video on that platform. It doesn't have to be just live video. And so thank you for sharing that specific tool and all those great things. But yes, this is amazing stuff. Go ahead.
I have one thing to add. I learned StreamYard from watching one of your lives. The last live series that you had, you interviewed some guy. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Do you remember who it was? But he mentioned StreamYard. So you mentioned that you use Ecamm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that he was talking about StreamYard. And I went and looked at Ecamm, which was, a little bit too complicated for me.
Yeah. And it's only for Mac users, but StreamYard is web browser based. So all of that. Yeah.
It was a little bit easier for me. So, hey, thanks for that. I'm using it because of one of your lives.
Oh my goodness. Yes. So let's kind of switch gears, because I've had Alicia come on before years ago. I don't even know if you remember, Alicia, but at the time you were heavily using a live video for local business. So can you share with us, how, if you're still doing that, but more specifically, like, some of the things that have worked for you in regards to having local business clients?
Sure. So during this time, we've had to have a lot of our local businesses pivot. So with our social media agency, we represent a lot of local businesses. I'll give you an example of a resort. So the resort had to close down, right? And so they wanted to keep active and stay in the space. So what we did was we had them do a cooking class, because it's like a holistic retreat.
Okay.
So they did a cooking class live and a juicing class, and then they did yoga on the beach. Now, the first time we did it, here's the thing. Streaming live in Jamaica sometimes doesn't work.
Sure.
So, hey, I'm in the US right now, great great feed, great stream, but when I'm in Jamaica, sometimes it doesn't always work.
Sure.
So for them, the first time the connection failed, it just did not go well. So we had them pre-record the sessions, give us the recording, and we use a tool called OneStream to schedule the recordings as if they're live on the page. So that local business, now they actually made the news for doing these live streams of having yoga. It's like Sundays at 1 o'clock. And then right after that at 2 o'clock is the chef teaching you how to make, great juices and vegan food. And so it was a definite pivot that not only kept their customers engaged, but people are like, I can't wait to come visit. I want to do yoga on that same beach, right? So it keeps them active in the space. Now, one thing that I've seen work really well for retail businesses, Monique, that I'm so excited about, we've done some social media posts to help retail businesses push this, but like a retail store, especially a small boutique, will go live. So they'll tell all their customers, we're going to be live Friday at 4. I'm unboxing, and there's going to be a whole lot of the new clothes that came in. And now, you have the lady holding up the clothes, or she has someone trying on one of the outfits. And the key is to wear spandex, something underneath, so that, you can change really quickly. Trust me, I've seen too many behind the scenes, but, then they're holding up the clothes, holding up the purse, and people are commenting live what they want, inboxing, making their payments, and getting things shipped.
Wow.
So this is more common outside of the US than it is in the US. So Singapore and Malaysia, they're crushing it with this strategy, but it's picking up a little bit in the US as well. And it's a really great strategy. So we have some of our clients that are doing that. And the key is to make sure that you put out notices ahead of time so your audience knows when to come on live. And if you have a database, to email them and tell them about it. But, local businesses need to understand that people are shopping with them, buying from them, eating at their restaurants, especially when they're building better relationships. So use the camera to build better relationships and pull people in. People love to see behind the scenes. So with some of our local businesses, we'll just do a simple behind the scenes. We'll be like, don't tell anybody, but here's behind the scenes in our, when inventory comes in or whatever it is, and get a little bit more behind the scenes. We've also done lives with, like one of my clients is a bank in Jamaica, and we've done a live with their customers to teach their customers that own retail stores how to now go from retail to e-commerce. So we're just using live in the local space as much as possible to keep the doors of these businesses open, connected with their customers, continuing to build relationships, and also for sales. And now that Facebook is coming out with Facebook shops, lives, trust me, this is going to be the next thing, retail stores going live. I was talking to one of our clients in Singapore. Lorette was actually talking to them in Singapore, and they were saying that they're not even going to reopen a retail location. They're just going to do their live on the camera and ship the stuff out the door. I loved it. I'm like, I love it. You know what I mean? And so I think that a local business really needs to look at how live can come in as a strategy for them. And I don't care what type of business you are. You could be an accounting firm.
Right.
You can go live, right? You could go live with the latest updates on what's happening with PPP or whatever. So it does not matter the business. Get creative and go live.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And yes, what Alicia just shared, guys, is all you got to do is a couple of things. Number one, all you need is your webcam or this. You don't need professional equipment or anything like that. But just also put yourself in your audience or customer's shoes and really just answer or provide solutions to whatever problems that are going on and putting on that creative thinking cap. Thank you so much for sharing the whole kind of like mini case study about the retail market, because yes, because of what's going on with this pandemic, like Facebook is pushing some hard stuff. Like last week, Zuckerberg mentioned the whole idea of rooms so they can compete directly with Zoom and other platforms like that. They're bringing back, thank God, because I was so upset with them when they took away the split screen feature from going live directly on your mobile device. And then earlier this week, if you guys don't know, as Alicia mentioned, the whole idea of flipping the whole e-commerce world upside down because they decided, okay, it's our turn now to get into this and introducing shops and other things. And in fact, like when I go and speak at a lot of conferences, I always bring up the fact that look at what QVC is doing. Like, what does QVC do all day, every day? Guys, like, they go live 8 times a day on Facebook and on YouTube simultaneously. And what are they doing? They're selling. And what Alicia just described is pretty much what everyone who is in the e-commerce space should somewhat emulate or integrate, let alone just look at what QVC is doing. And now it's easier than ever to just do it directly within the Facebook platform and not having to worry, I guess, on other third-party platforms, maybe such as like a Shopify, or maybe just not even relying on Amazon either. I don't know exactly how it's all gonna look, but I just love how video can be the driving force to make it happen for you with business, especially at this time.
Yeah. Absolutely, Monique. Total agreement. Total agreement. I can't wait to see, Facebook shops and how everything's going to pan out. And, I'm definitely going to be trying it myself. So I'm excited about that.
Ooh, that's the one thing I love about Alicia. She'll be working on a new project. She's like, yeah, I got this business, but I'm about to start a new one.
I'm addicted. I don't know what is wrong with me, but I'm addicted to entrepreneurship. I'm so addicted.
No, that's great though. I love it. I love it. No, but seriously, I mean, it's just, diversifying your income. So that's amazing. Now, for someone, okay, who is not a newbie in the business world and they're looking to scale their business, can you share with us either some examples that you have utilized directly from your personal experience of how you've been able to use this medium of video to help scale your business or take it to the next level?
Right. So I've used it in many ways to take my business to the next level. But I would say that the main way has been interviewing successful customers, clients, students. So if that's one tip that you can take away, even if you have to give them your course for free and then get them on the live to talk about what they liked about it, do it, give it away, and then just interview people to say, this is what I really liked about it, and talk about it live on camera. And then syndicating it on as many platforms as possible. I like StreamYard because I can go live in my groups, my page, YouTube, and then also having a team behind you that can help you to do two things. There's two things that are so important about having a team behind you. Number one is that my team is always in the comments. And I know some of them are watching this now. So, hi guys, girls. If you're watching this now, just say me so people know that you're part of the team, or hashtag team. But one of the things that they do so well, Monique, is that when I'm doing a live, whether it's a webinar or a Facebook live, is that my team, of all ladies, by the way, but my team is in the chat box answering everyone's question. So they're in the comments answering every question. So when I'm using StreamYard, for example, the last one that I did, we had 250 people on, and the questions and comments were coming in faster than Lorette and I could see them. So we had two of our team members on, Camille and Winnie, and they would answer the questions, and I would see when they said something, and I would put that on the screen because it was the answer to a question that a lot of people would have. So having team members on that can also help and assist you, because a lot of times without them, I wouldn't be able to answer everyone. And you don't want to leave someone hanging that's asked you a question. So if you really want to scale your business, make sure that you're responding and answering and communicating with the people that are asking you questions and that are interested in finding out more about your product or need something from you. Don't leave them hanging. When I do webinars, even if someone says hi on the webinar, they get a response back that says, glad to have you here, right? So there's always someone there to give that comment. So having a team that does that is really important in scaling. And you can easily outsource that, like find a virtual assistant on Fiverr or on Upwork that you can hire to come on and do that for you. And then the next thing that I really love about scaling and really having my team involved is that they take the content from the lives that I do and they repurpose it. So if it didn't go on IGTV, they'll make it IGTV size and they'll put it on IGTV. It then goes up on the blog. So they actually hire someone on Fiverr for $5 to do a little write up of what the live was about. And then they make that into a blog post as well. And if I was interviewed live on the media, they put that on the media section of our webpage. So every day our team leader, has this spreadsheet, and she's like, so just for this interview, right? Is the fact that Alicia is on Monique's interview, has that been posted on LinkedIn? Check. Has that been posted on Facebook? Check. And then after the interview, can we send it out? Where can we put it? Can we put it as a blog post? So really creating your blueprint for how you can totally take as much advantage of your live will make you feel really good about spending that time doing one as well, which is really important for scaling your business.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I love all of the tips that you shared. And yes, in fact, a lot of the guests that we've had thus far this week has talked a lot about the importance of repurposing their content, right? Like, you don't want to waste your time of going live or creating, I guess, more video content and then not allowing your reach, like, creating a ceiling rather of where people can see you for the very first time, let alone become a loyal fan. Now, we talked a lot about, what you can do during, and I love the whole idea of outsourcing, having a team involved. You guys, you mentioned Fiverr. If you guys are not familiar with that amazing resource, Alicia and Lorette are the queens, in my opinion, of the Fiverr platform. It's fiverr.com if you're not familiar with that. But that's a great way for anybody to get started with outsourcing work, especially since we're all at home right now at this current moment. Now, do you have any strategies or tactics rather for after you've gone live? So you talked about the repurposing, but how is there any way or workflows or anything where people who come onto your live stream, do you follow up with them? Do you incorporate chat bots? There's so many different ways, but I'm just curious as to how you go about doing it.
One of the things that I love about going live and the things that I do after is boosting the live. So putting a little bit of ad spend to make it go farther. And I find that when a live gets the boost, that Facebook is more, they're kinder to it. Your ad spend goes farther with those video views when you boost a live. So especially for my best interviews, because remember, I do interviews where my students are talking about their success with my program. So now I'm boosting that live. And so everybody is seeing, hey, the live, and they're seeing this interview, and they're not even sure that it's sponsored. It just shows up in their newsfeed, right? And they're watching it, and they're seeing the comments, and they're adding to the comments, and we can see when they add to the comments, so we can still comment, with them as well. So I actually have a girl on my, did you lose your mic?
Yes, I apologize.
That was so funny. We actually have a girl on our team, Winnie, who makes sure that every comment that goes on the page and, anybody that comments on the lives later, that they get a response. And so, boosting a live is really great. And then of course the repurposing is good as well. And sometimes we'll even take the live and turn it into an ad on YouTube, but put a little bit of ad budget, and you only need to do $1 a day starting out. And then as you see that it's making you sales, you'll want to boost your lives more and more, but it really will help you put a little bit of ad budget behind it.
I love that. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And that's why, in which it's gonna segue to my next point or question to you. A lot of people come to me and ask me, Monique, where should I go live more often on? Is it your profile, your fan page, or your group? But more so, it's been the war, I guess, of your personal profile versus your fan page. Now, I am a strong proponent of doing fan page as much as possible, just for the simple reason of what you just shared, being able to boost it, let alone the insights and the analytics and all the things that you can see if you're trying to be intentional and strategic for your business. But based on your personal experience, how do you go about handling that? Because you did say, okay, for one of your businesses, you go live on your fan page and your Facebook group. Do you treat your members of your Facebook group differently from those on your fan page? Kind of talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I have a Facebook group that's specifically has my customers in it, but it's really for future customers. So this group, it's an open group, it's a public group. I have my private group that's for my paid customers, and I'm not going live in there with success stories so much because, maybe I'll share it in there, but I'm not trying to sell to them, the same thing that they've already bought. So I'm going live in my free group and on my page and even on the YouTube channel, and the intention is specifically to get people to say, oh, now that I heard her story, like Alicia and this lady that she interviewed, I'm hearing the student success. Now it's time for me to try that. So I rarely go live on my personal page, and but I'm always live on my business page or fan page. Always. That's always for all of the same reasons that you are talking about. That's the reason, that I'm going live on that page. But, if you have to pick somewhere to go live, like you're not, maybe you don't have the StreamYard, or you don't have a tool where you can go live in multiple places, then I would say yes, definitely your fan page. Sometimes I'll even like go live on Facebook, and then I'll pick up my phone and go live on Instagram, and talk specifically to the Instagram audience. So, I would just encourage you to like, just like Monique said, it's your page. And then if you haven't set up a Facebook group, set up a Facebook group. Set it up. It's great. Please set up a Facebook group. I'm like I'm like it will be one of the best decisions you've made, because if you're funneling your potential customers into a free Facebook group and they learn more about you and they can communicate with you and your team, then you will turn them into your biggest fans. They will buy from you. We have contests to have them invite new people into the group, right? And our groups are just growing and growing and growing. So I really love Facebook groups. And when you go live in your Facebook group, they really appreciate it, but schedule it so they know when you're going live so that they can bring their questions to the table. I am so bad at scheduling. I'm really, really bad at scheduling. So I don't like to keep a schedule. I didn't like to before because I traveled so much. So I don't want to cancel anything. So instead of creating a schedule, I just didn't do it because I didn't have to cancel anything. But now that we're on lockdown, I'm like always free. So
Right.
it's been easier to schedule. And now I've also learned the importance of scheduling so that people know, they can come on your live at this time and learn this. So scheduling is really important. But if you're just wanting to go live and get things started, then just turn on the camera, press live, go and start to talk. And Monique has said this before. Monique has said it doesn't matter if you have like 0 people watching or 2 people watching, still do it, because on the replay, you never know who's going to share it. A lot of people watch your lives after the fact, they don't watch it live.
Right.
So don't ever say that you're not going to go live because you don't have a large audience, because you never know, who's going to see it and how far it's going to spread.
Thank you for sharing that. Oh, I feel special. She listens to what
I do.
But no, in all seriousness, especially right now, like, I've been saying this, Alicia, and, you could chime in here if you like, but we will never get this attention ever again.
Right.
Like, the fact that this pandemic has forced everyone to drop everything and be at home, force at home, be bored, just be on the screens or whatever it is that they have in front of them. Like, let's just say something else does happen or come our way. I would like to hope that we'll be better prepared. But the mere fact that it was kind of like, whoa, deer in headlights, we were just forced to be at home and being on this lockdown. Traffic is up. So the whole idea of, or the vanity, because I like to say this is really the reason, it's the ego. It's like, that is no longer an excuse. Like, people will hop on, especially now, because they're bored, let alone they're forced at home. And, already, at least in the United States and across the world, there have been countries and cities and states that are slowly opening up. But so that goes to show you guys, like, there won't be that opportunity. Like, don't take this time for granted. Don't think, oh, I'm going to wait till when everything settles to make this happen. To me, I truly believe if you're not doing this, like, you will be left behind. There's going to be a lot of catching up you're going to have to do versus those who are doing it consistently. Like, for instance, we had Lamar on yesterday. And he talked about how in the month of March, he went live every single day in
Every
his
day I
group.
saw him.
Yeah. And like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income. He's been
Yeah.
going live every single day on YouTube, has not stopped. He still does it, and he does it Sunday through Sunday. And it's like, people like those who have built businesses, they're seeing the potential and they're taking advantage of it. This is not the time for you guys to relax. And for those of you guys who are newbies, don't feel like, oh, I'm just a newbie, so I can't serve or provide any value. You can. And all you got to do is just press the button. Just press the button.
Press the button, go live.
Yes, most definitely. And I definitely love the fact that you mentioned start a Facebook group. Guys, if Facebook is putting money behind having Facebook group commercials appear starting
I
from the
know.
Super Bowl earlier this year to everybody's watching the Last Dance documentary with Michael Jordan, every single commercial break, there was a commercial Facebook group that was being featured. So if they're putting money behind that, that lets you know that's what they're ranking as high priority in their algorithm. As a guest that we had earlier this week, April Frank said, she said, the algorithm is fair. You just got to utilize the tools that is provided to you in order to make it work for you.
That's right. That's right. The tools are there
Yeah.
and the knowledge is there. Everybody has that you have what you need to be able to do it. Take a pen and paper, write out, 10 things that you're going to talk about on your live if you're nervous and not sure where you're going, and then use that as your just agenda. Make an agenda for what you're going to talk about so that you feel more comfortable with it and just go. And you know what? If you don't like it, you can press delete, right? If that makes you
Right.
feel more comfortable. But just do it.
Oh my goodness, yes, that is amazing. Now, another thing I want to ask you, because we had John Lawson on earlier at the beginning of this week, and Alicia, you speak all over the world. Like you are always on a plane, even though right now we're on lockdown. So, how has video helped you with your speaking career, let alone getting on stages or even just selling your products or services?
Yeah, so I've done so many live summits. I can't even count how many live summits I've done. And there's so many more to come. I'm loving this. I'm like, I'd rather stay home sometimes instead of being on a plane. I'm like, this is great. I mean, my sister and I have been doing webinars since 2005, but now the door has been open for all these live summits, and these summit promoters and the people who are hosting them are always looking for speakers and presenters. So if you've got a great message to get out to the world, this is also your chance to start paying attention to who's doing events, and if you can get on their virtual stage. The virtual stage right now is so global, so wide open. I was on an event last week called iPro Summit, right? It was
Mm-hmm.
Fred Lamb's summit. And when I asked people, there were like 537 people on live. And when I asked people, where are you guys from? It was all over the world, US, Caribbean, all over Africa, Asia. I think I did it at like 11 o'clock in the morning. But when I tell you a global audience, it was so global. And so, now if I was to get on a plane to reach all those countries, which I've done plenty of times before, I'd be on a plane to South Africa, then a plane to, Tanzania, and then a plane to Malaysia. And, I started off the year in January on a plane to Malaysia to do an event in Malaysia, and then a plane to Atlanta, and then a plane to South Carolina, and then Utah. So within the first 3 weeks, I think had been on 8 planes or something like that, going to events. It was crazy. But now I just wake up, get in front of my webcam. When it's time for the live summit, I'm on. What a great opportunity. The virtual stage, great opportunity. And then you don't have to always wait for someone to invite you to get on the virtual stage. What you can do is create your own opportunities by just going live on your pages. Monique, that's where we are today. It's the fact that you can be live on YouTube, you can be live on your Facebook page, wherever you want, and create your own. You don't have to wait for someone to invite you. Invite yourself to your own live and just do it.
That's what we're doing right now, guys. We are actually going live on numerous places on Facebook and also on YouTube simultaneously as we are doing this. And yeah, you're right. There's no better opportunity. I would say the month of what are we? May. Sorry, last month. Oh my goodness, Alicia, I was on so many summits. I was on so many summits. I was like, I don't know.
Posting on Facebook telling us where you were going to be.
Right. I was like, I felt like I was traveling, like virtual traveling. And while I was doing some of these, people approached me too. So I'm like doing like these last minute ones, and to the point where I don't know, maybe my email list was like, girl, what are you doing? Like, how many times you gotta email me?
But it's also great because it's building your credibility. If you're a speaker on all these virtual summits, that must mean that you have a great message. You can solve people's problems. You've got something, right? So it's really good for credibility. I saw when you posted on Facebook, you were like, this week I'm on 4 summits. Bam, 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 bam. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yes, that just so you guys know, you assume that, talking on stage is a lot of energy. Virtual summits is a lot of energy too, because especially with video, you have to overly deliver, especially if you're on camera, let alone doing a webinar. And Alicia, since you've been doing webinars since 2005, like even after a webinar, I'm
tired.
I am pooped.
I am tired too, because you're putting all your energy into the people that are listening, and you're presenting, and you want to present at your highest frequency, and then you're also answering comments. Like, you're really multitasking and your brain is on overload. And if you're passionate like we are about the subject that you're teaching, then you're just exerting so much energy into it. Yeah, I'm pooped after I need ice cream after I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just kidding, but I do get really tired after webinars.
Most definitely. Now, before I go on to the next question, oh, did you have something to say? Or
no?
Before I go into my next question, we do have a couple questions that came in. So, one question from Sherry. She asked, "What is the best way to name a Facebook group? Any tips?"
Yeah. So name a Facebook group around the benefit of the Facebook group. So what's the benefit of the group? So have a group that's called Make Money Online with Alicia, right? The benefit is about making money online. So you'll see, and make it as short as possible, but make sure that when people look at the name of the group, they understand what it's about. If it's like the Blue Door group with James, everybody's like, what is the Blue Door? So, but if it's DIY, DIY projects with James, now people understand. So don't try to be too cute with your group name. Try to keep it simple, especially with the graphic that you're making with a group, because when Facebook suggests your group to other people, it's that graphic that they see. So make sure that it's optimized for mobile, and that graphic has a nice visual on it, so when people see it, they'll want to join the group. I have a question when people join my group that's like, how did you hear about the group? And it's always, Facebook is suggesting it as a group because our group is so active. So, if Facebook suggest your group, can people understand from the name and the image what your group is about? If they can, then you've done a good job in naming your group.
I love that. And actually, I had to learn the hard way with that too. In fact, a mutual friend of ours, Ernest Epps, gave me the suggestion to change my group, because originally it was Live Video Lab by Monique Johnson. Now, yeah, technically people can kind of assume Live Video Lab, maybe it's about live video, but he was like, no, make it more broad. Make sure to include people who you want to serve, and possibly integrate some sort of like keywords. So I ended up changing it to traffic and social media for entrepreneurs. And so, however, based on what you just said, I need to change my graphic. All I have is a graphic of people crossing the street, like a lot of traffic.
No, that's not good.
So I need to go ahead and change that. So, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, because you're right. If the I have joined groups specifically because, yes, the graphic grabbed my attention. So that is definitely a great point. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, you're welcome.
Now, another question here. How would you share as a mental health therapist without going into a full session? So let's just talk about, because I know people like in accounting or taxes or even personal finance advisor, doctor health, where there's like that client privilege and you
Right,
can't, disclose or, privacy concerns. So
right.
how, in your opinion, can some, and you work with banks, so that there's private information there. How can one utilize video or live video for their business in that regard?
So, if I was a mental health specialist, I would focus on teaching. So, my live would be the three things that you need to know to get through COVID without a breakdown, or it would be five strategies that you can use to fight depression during COVID.
Hmm.
Now, that live title on YouTube and on Facebook and that sort of thing will get people's attention. And then you're not having to, like, it would be hard to bring someone on like my case study, or my what I do is I bring people on to always talk about their success.
Right.
But if you had like a free report or some sort of system that you put people through, you could give someone your system and ask them to come on and say and talk about how the system has helped them. They don't have to go into their personal story, but they can talk about if they think your system is good. I mean, you can keep it as simple as that. But if I were you, I would focus on teaching and then making the things that you teach relevant to the time that we're in now, if you're going live today. And then also at the end, giving people an opportunity to talk to you, let them ask questions. But you can say, hey, if you're on Facebook Live, you can say, hey, if you want to set up an appointment to see how I can work with you, then go to the appointment tab on my Facebook page and click book now, right? Right under the graphic, click book now, book an appointment. And then in that appointment, you then can get them signed up for services. So use the tools that are available for you, but also just look at teaching. That's what I would do, Money.
Yes, yep, exactly. I would suggest the same thing. And also for the person, shout out to April McLam. She's the one that answered it. I mean, asked the question about being a mental health therapist. Like at the time of this recording, if I recall, May is Mental Health Month. So
Okay.
we have what, 31 days in May. So you got 9 days, April, to go and kill it. If you haven't already, and shape and really dig into the theme of this is Mental Health Month. Let alone, it's already been shown in statistics how mental health cases and just other things have gone up because of lockdown, and or having to not have a job anymore, or transitioning from going to work and being at home and have no idea how to use certain tools and things like that. There's so many things that you could do. And yeah, it's just all about putting on the education cap, so you don't have to worry about going into privacy concerns, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, I have a direct what am I trying to say, direct example to you, April, is this two things. My friend Kalechi, in the last edition of this success series, she is a mental health advocate. So two things that she did or she's been doing is talking to people about mental health apps. So there's so many apps out there that people
Yeah,
are not familiar with that you can start educating people on. Number
like that.
two is she's a co-author of a book. So what she's been doing is doing these live reading watch parties, if you will, and have been able to sell books that way, et cetera, et cetera. So there's so many different things that you could do. So I just wanted to make sure to address that. Oh my goodness. Any other tips, Alicia? Because you are full of them. What I love about Alicia, let's talk about this, Alicia. Two things
Sure.
actually that I just came up with. I love how, number one, because you are so addicted to entrepreneurship and making money and just collecting those coins, um, you are not afraid to try stuff out. So for those who are here, especially with video, like, can you walk with us, like, how you come up with these strategies or go about experimenting and testing it so okay, this is what we're going to move forward with, especially when you're either starting a business or you're currently in one of your businesses and you're like, okay, we're in a rut and we need to figure out a new way on how to get customers?
Right. One of the things that I love to do is brainstorm with other people. So call up a friend, tell them what you're trying to do, get some ideas in. Brainstorming is, you know, it is such a valuable tool, yet so few people use it. So make sure that you're brainstorming. And then I learned so much from other people. I wouldn't be using StreamYard if it wasn't for Monique's lives, right? So, just making sure that you're always learning. Like as adults, we should always be learning something new every single day. So reach out there, learn something new so that you can apply it. And then as you learn something, teach it. So if you learn something and you master something, teach it, right? Have a notebook, pen and paper next to you and write down the things that you could go live about. When you do that, because when it gets into the moment and you're ready to turn on the camera, sometimes you are like, I have nothing to talk about. I have nothing to talk
I'm
about.
guilty of that myself.
So then you need to go back in your ideas notebook. When you were writing, you had it with you when you saw a TV commercial come in about Facebook groups, and now you're writing that down. And I'm going to talk about Facebook groups. So just have an idea pad with you where you can write down those things that come with you. And now when you're going to go live, you've got a list of 100 things that you could go live about. So, keep the ideas going and flowing. And then, Monique, you said something that was really important in the beginning. You said it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to add a little bit onto that. I say it doesn't have to be perfect to make profits. So when I do my live streaming in Jamaica, sometimes I have anxiety because I'm like, is this Jamaican internet going to hold up? And, 9 times out of 10 it does, 1 out of 10 it doesn't, but we just keep going. I've been on lives where it's like cut off and we had to go again, and the person I'm interviewing, it cut off and their dog's barking, and it's like, and then sometimes it's perfect. But what I remind myself is it doesn't have to be perfect to make profit. Some of my worst live streams have converted the best, right? So then one other tip that I would add, Monique, is when you're going live, just as you're doing right now, if you can involve your audience by calling out their names, me and my sister really realized that this is so important.
Yes.
When her daughter, we've always said that this is important, but her daughter, Ava, is right now doing kids classroom learning, right? She's 7 years old, just turned 7. So she's there and the teacher, and she's typing in her stuff on the Zoom classroom. And then an hour into the class, all Ava is waiting for is for the teacher to call her name. And then the teacher says, "Hi, Ava, good job. Mommy, they call my name. They call my name. The teacher called my name." And she goes crazy. And Lorette's like, "Great, honey, great." And she's been like, "I've been waiting for an hour for her to call my name."
It's that celebrity factor, seriously. Like making someone feel special. Yeah.
Make you feel special. So on my lives, I go super fast, but I'm like, "Hey, Raina. Hey, April. Hey, you know what I mean? Hey, Jason, how are you?" And you just try to call out as many people's names as you can. Or if you can put their questions up on the screen and it shows their face, but depending on the tool that you're using, oh my gosh, like involve your audience, make them feel good. And remember that even if there's only 2 people watching or whoever's watching, the fact that you're on live and on camera and teaching and talking about something, you are their celebrity. So the celebrity factor, I mean, with the Ava example, that's her teacher. The teacher isn't a celebrity, but the teacher is celebrity factor to Ava. She wants the teacher to call out her name. Sometimes I feel like paying the teacher, be like, "Could you make sure that every class you call out Ava's name because she really loves it?" You know what I mean? I'm like, "I'll pay you extra just to call out her name." But seeing that the impact that it has on a 7-year-old, it has even a greater impact on us adults because we don't even get acknowledged that much. So just acknowledgement, and that's great for relationship building. And then if you're using your lives for sales, it's fabulous for sales. People want to belong and be part of something. So make sure that you call out their name. Remember Ava.
Yes, that was awesome. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That's the Jamaican horn. I heard the Jamaican horn.
Listen, Yeah, no, it is so true, and all the things that you're doing. And in fact, I've been doing this. I know, Alicia, you can't see it directly because you're coming in through Skype, but some people who've given us shout outs, like Justin joined and some other people, I make sure to have it appear on the screen. And even like with these questions, I make sure to mention people's names because it's just, I don't know. I just feel like it's just good manners. West Indian upbringing. It's all about having good manners, right? At least
Right,
because
right,
you have West Indian parents. I have West Indian parents, so we know it's all about just being courteous and having good manners. And just these people that are here on live or watching your video or even on the replay, like they didn't have to take out their time and interrupt their day to see you. So, like, it's a reciprocation. You want it to be a relationship, a two-way street, and so it's always great to create that environment.
right.
Now, the next question that I have, okay, based on your experience, because those who are watching, we already know, like, when it comes to certain price points of products or services, there are certain calls to action or ways that how you would get that person on to possibly close the sale is different. So like a higher price point, you get them on a phone call, et cetera, et cetera. What has been your experience with live video? Like, have you been able to sell directly from them where you just push them to a checkout page, or have you used call to actions where you're getting people to do an appointment or get on a call or with one of your team members? Like, how do you go about figuring out what your calls to action are or what you've seen has converted the best for you?
All of the above.
Okay.
So everything that you just said. I have a really great sales guy on my team. His name is Dwight. Like he is amazing, best salesperson on the planet. So at the end of my lives, I'm like, hey, if you want to find out more about our courses, you can set an appointment to talk to one of our coaches. So I put the Facebook link there for them to set an appointment on Facebook, and then they get to Dwight, who in 30 minutes delivers so much value, people buy, right? So that is a strategy that we use. Then we also sell direct on a live, and we will take them from a live to a webinar as well. So at the end of the live, we're like, hey, we've got a free webinar. If you want to come on 60 minutes, I'm going to show my screen, PowerPoint presentation, and teach you something. And then we'll put them on GoToWebinar, a little bit more of a controlled environment, but we'll still have the camera on at least in the beginning and be live. So all of the above, right? Direct to a sale, to an appointment as well, so that they get on the phone. We even tell people to inbox us, and they'll inbox us for what they want. We'll give them a link. We even tell people if you want the link to buy it, just type link, and they'll type link, and then my team will be in the comments and giving them the link to buy. So a whole bunch of different strategies. The key is test what works for your audience, and test it frequently just so you can see what's working better. I know if I send people to the appointments tab on Facebook, I know Dwight is going to close them, right? They have no choice. They will buy from Dwight. Right? They have no choice. He is so good. So if they get on a call, so right now he told us the calendar is booked up till June 2nd. Only has 2 spots, and he goes from 9 to 5 throughout the week, and then Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 4, right? And to tell me today that for the next 10 days there's 2 open time spots of 30 minutes. I mean, people will set appointments, and they know when they're coming on that appointment, they're coming on to learn about our courses they're going to be sold to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not like, hey, come on just to chat up if you have nothing better to do. No, I'm like, if you want to learn more about our courses and what you should buy, sign up, book an appointment now. So I found that that strategy has been working really well. It's a soft sale, and let a experienced salesperson take it from there.
Keyword, guys, especially those of you guys who are afraid of selling, outsource it, please.
Outsource it. I don't
Okay.
do it.
Yeah, outsource it because as a business owner, whether you like it or not, you are in the business of selling, whether you're a CEO or not. But if it's not your forte or something you want to do, just outsource it.
Outsource it.
Saying.
Do
No, that is great advice, and it kind of leads me to another question that just came up. So well, actually, no, what you mentioned earlier. So you talked about how there's this opportunity to reach out to local media news, radio, etc. to because they're looking for stories, let alone they're stranded, can't go into the studio type of thing. Um, my question to you is this: do you provide examples of previous, like, how should one go about that right now today if they're starting from scratch? Should they send like video emails to get their attention, then let alone show them like previous interviews that they've done before so that they can get an idea? Like, how would someone go about to do that, like right now starting from scratch?
Right. So if you have a web page, set up a media page
Okay.
on your web page, and any previous interviews you have, put them there. You can also, here's like a trick. You can also go to fiverr.com and hire someone to interview you. So
Go ahead.
I do, right? I haven't personally done that, but I've recommended it to clients. Just hire someone to interview.
Right.
That site has everything. Hire someone to interview you,
Hmm.
and then put those interviews on your media page. So they, the media likes to see an example of what you've got, and you want to put your best foot forward. Try to get a webcam that's nice, put some lighting in your room, make sure that you've got some good lighting so that they see that they would have a quality interview with you. And then have a list of topics that they can interview you on. So sometimes it might be, news media or paper media, but whatever it is, take advantage of it. And really, they've got a web page. Go to their web page, find out who you need to contact, and contact that person with your story, or hire somebody to go contact people with your story.
Love it. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, before moving on, I want to give a shout out to Cersei Shakespeare Blue. Not ignoring your question, she asked, what are the best ways to convert your lives to profit when your lives are centered around interviews? So, we're not going to actually address that because we did address that earlier in this conversation. So, when we're done, please go and look at the replay, and we'll have a team member kind of go through and provide timestamps. But we definitely provided a lot of examples in regards to, as Alicia said, turning things into profit, converting your lives into profit. So I just want to make sure to address that. But without further ado, because we are at the top of the hour, and I know Alicia is a busy, busy woman, even though she's, ground locked and all that other stuff. Yeah, because Alicia is always out of plan. I'm like, where are you? Like, we're chatting on WhatsApp. Oh, yeah, girl, I'm on my way to Asia. And I'm like, again? Like,
Oh, it actually feels kind of good to be locked down. I'm kind of enjoying the lockdown.
most definitely. And also, another last question that I have. I keep saying I have a last question, but I love interviewing you, Alicia.
Thank
So
you.
Alicia she and her sister run several digital businesses. So how do you go about utilizing video from a team perspective and business structure? So we talked a lot about thus far catering to clients, providing services and things, but let's talk about like in-house or behind the
Okay.
scenes, if you will.
Okay. Okay. So a really good example is for so every morning for my two companies, we have two separate team meetings, and we do those team meetings using video. So one team meeting, they don't show their faces, although I might change that. But they show the screen. And the second team meeting, our business development manager Marie, who runs the meeting,
Okay.
she requires that we turn on video, so everybody can see each other's faces, and you have that relationship, because we're not, first of all, that team is very international, and then second, right, we're not in the office anymore, so it helps to see everybody on webcam. From a team perspective, we meet every day, and for one company we were consistently meeting every day. For the next, it kind of fell off, and I saw the productivity and the confusion and the not being able to get things done in a organized manner started to really decline. And once it went back to the daily team meetings again on video, it inclined. I would keep that, even, should my office is closed right now, but should the office open back up, I would still keep the daily meetings on video to bring the whole team together. And then I also love to use video to do training. So, if I'm training someone to do something, I'm using Loom. And I'm recording my screen and I'm sending them the training, or I'm using Zoom and recording it. So I'm also using video to train team members, or even one-off freelancers that I'm hiring to do a one-off job. When you talk to them in video to explain your job, now they're like, "Oh, I get it," as opposed to just typing up your instructions.
Sure.
So my sister actually taught me that, and she's like, anybody that we're working with that you're not talking to on the phone to give instructions, record a video for them and explain it on video, whether it's a screen recording or talking to the camera. It makes a really big difference. So if you want your team to be more productive, make sure that you've got video meetings. And then if you're just hiring people one off to do work, explain things in video and you'll get back a better product in the end.
Love that. Yes, thank you. So guys, if you're not familiar, Loom is a free tool that you can get started with. They do have a premium option, but I love me some Loom. Even for, I don't know if you ever utilize this, Alicia, for cold outreach or prospecting, if you will. Like if I see something and I'm like, they could do better, or for me, I'm like, they could integrate video. I shoot a quick Loom video and then just send them the link, and they're just able to watch it then and there. But yes, the whole idea of being in front of someone, even though you can't physically be there, goes a whole lot longer. So kudos to Lorette for sharing that and showing you that versus just relying on words. Because I think a lot of people rely on words and websites way too much, and they're missing out on so much opportunity as a result.
Yes, yes. Shout out to Lorette.
Lorette! Oh my goodness. Next time I'm gonna have both her and you. I'm gonna have to convince her because I know she doesn't like to be in front of the scenes. She likes to be behind the scenes, but we're gonna have to make that happen. Let alone we'll recruit Ava, because Ava has an amazing personality.
She loves to be on camera. Just call her name. Lorette has, though, stepped up a little bit more, and she's been live more with me. So we've gone on Instagram Live. Yesterday we did a live on StreamYard in our groups, Facebook, YouTube, and she has found that it makes a really big difference. So she's getting there.
All right.
But in our company, she's like, "Why do I need to do it? You just do it." But now she sees, people want to see you and hear from you too, and now she's kind of getting it, and she's on more often.
I mean, we don't call you the little sisters for nothing. Like sisters, there's a plural.
It's plural.
We got to see both of you guys. So one last question, I promise. One last question. Because I'm like, I don't know how I made this go over my head. So you, in my honest opinion, are one of the best out there, in my honest opinion, with product launches. How do you, I guess if you could say, if there was a template, right? Like no matter what kind of product launch you're doing, what are like specific types of video or things that you do with video that you pretty much do for all product launches?
You will not find a sales page of mine without a video on the top of it. It just won't happen. There is always a video on the top of our sales page explaining what the product is. It's a video sales letter, right? Even if the sales letter is 22 pages long, there's still a video at the top. And I use two types of video. I use video where I'm talking directly into the camera. That video's on the page. And I also use animated video where I'm just recording the voiceover, and then you can hire an animator on Fiverr again to create a cartoon video, like an animated or a whiteboard video. So it's usually my face or an animated or a whiteboard video, but you won't find a sales page without a video on it from anything that I sell. And it's just because video works. People are, I don't want to say lazy, but we've got a short attention span. So if you can hit them with video, make the video as short as possible, get straight to the point, no fluff, and you'll find that people will appreciate it. And they're like, "Oh yeah, that is something I want," right? So I'm always like, "Hi, I'm Alicia Lyttle," and then I go right into it and talk about the benefits to them. And then that video, sometimes people don't even read the rest of the page. They just buy from a quick 3-minute video sales letter. Sometimes I put a whole webinar on a page, which might be 60 minutes long, but if you're selling a low ticket product, do a short video. If you're selling a high ticket product, send them to a webinar type session, and then always do use retargeting. So for those of you that are familiar with ads, use retargeting and that helps as well.
Awesome. Awesome. I was like, yeah, I don't know how I let that slip through because, again, I mean, you've been in business for 20 years and you are consistently launching, and it's all different price points because I've seen you do like lower ticket, but you do things on the back end to make up for
Yeah.
it, the whole funnel thing. If you guys are not familiar with that, and then also doing the higher ticket, let alone, services and stuff. So I was like, I have to get that question in. So thank you for sharing.
Yes. Thank you, Monique. Yes.
Oh my goodness, guys! I don't want to end this, but we gotta end this. Thank you for those of you guys who are watching this live or happen to catch this on the replay. Again, the whole intention of this success series. This is the last day. Be sure to check out wherever you are watching this, either in the Facebook group or my fan page, because the replays will be taken down very, very soon. But again, the whole intention is to bring on business veterans as the amazing Alicia Lyttle and her sister Lorette. Hey, they've been in business for 20 years, guys, who are literally taking video and using it as what I call as a lifestyle for their business, let alone personal, but more so for business. And so I like to bring them online here because I don't want to talk about fluff theory or maybe that's something we can do. I want people to share like from their direct experience that actually works, whether it is positives or negatives. And so I'm so thankful to have Alicia on here. Again, shout out to Justin Burns for making that initial introduction. And I
Oh,
feel like we
Justin.
have been inseparable ever since. And
It's true.
I don't know, Alicia, we got to take over the Caribbean somehow and like teach everybody what we know, especially with video. So I don't know,
Great.
something that we could work on. Another business for you to.
In your free time too, right,
Yeah,
Monique?
of course, of course, of course. So, yeah, without further ado, guys, thank you so much. Alicia, do you have any parting words or anything just for people to just, they've taken all what we've said. They still might be a little bit on the fence. Are there any last parting words that you can share with people?
Yeah, absolutely. Just start somewhere and then use your creativity to build and scale and grow your business. So I don't care if you only have, Monique says this all the time, like one person watching, still do it and see how you can use technology and people and post in different Facebook groups and really be active in growing your own business. There's nobody that's responsible for growing your business except for you. So every day, schedule your time to grow your business. It's really important that you do it. And then, reach out to different people. Facebook groups right now are an amazing place to reach out to other people who want to be interviewed or who will interview you as well. There are groups specifically set up for people to connect for interviews. So, find those groups, jump in those groups. There's groups for podcasts, there's groups for lives and live events, virtual stages. Find the groups, get active in them, build your business, and don't stop. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect.
That Jamaican DJ horn back in there. Oh my goodness. But yes, thank you so much, guys. And I will see you next month for the 5th edition of the Success Series. So be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, in between time, if you're watching this live, be sure to click on the links and things because we do have a special bonus training for you guys tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your week and your time. Guys, you can't get this 1 hour back, so you might as well go and execute it and make it your worthwhile. It doesn't make sense for you to show up and get motivated by Alicia or whoever else who was on here earlier this week. If it's all in vain if you don't go and execute. So please go and execute. All right? All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much.